The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond. Got my days free and the nights long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Who I am is fine with me.
So, hi everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. We are very, very happy to see you and be here. We want to thank Jim Bell, our producer and engineer. We want to thank Armed Radio. I want to personally thank my sidekick, an amazing accidental everything, Leo Rodriguez. Leo, what would I do without you? Oh my God, I love your little shirt.
Thank you. It's LOVE.
That's adorable, Leo. It looks so good on you.
Thank you.
That looks great. So we want to welcome you to our show. Today is Tuesday, January 10th. It is FF, as they say in the weather world, friggin' freezing. That's all I'm going to say. We are at 19 degrees in New York. I was talking to my sister, who's in Massachusetts, and my cousin Rena, who's in Massachusetts, and I want to say it's probably like 11 degrees there, because they're
disconnected from your channel.
Yeah, so they're always so they're having a little problem with the radio station, but that's okay. We'll send them the audio, and they can listen to the podcast. It always works out. I'm not worried about it. Okay, so there's so much going on this week everywhere. The weather is the big news, of course. Everybody's freezing. It's Leo. I heard it's coming from Canada.
Yep, it's coming down from Canada.
Is the culprit. Oh my God, Rena, we were just talking about you. Hi, Rena Crignali-Bergi. Hello and happy Tuesday. It's not Tuesday. Am I right, Leo? If Rena does not pop on, it just is not.
And she popped in right when we were talking weather. She knows. She's got that spidey sense.
Oh my God. Actually, Rena, will you type in what the weather is in Massachusetts? She really knows. I was talking to my sister, and my sister was telling me how cold it was. But you know, Rena Crignali-Bergi is our official weather girl. As you will, she's your weather girl. Let me see. Okay. What I do want to do, because it does help me to see comments, is I want to go to my personal Facebook page. Leo, tell them of all the different places that they can see our show.
Well, we have YouTube, What's the Story with Maria. We have Facebook, What's the Story with Maria page, and the Maria's personal page, my personal page. Facebook, What's the Story with Maria page.
Hold on. Here we go.
There's a little delay. And like we tell all of our guests, make sure you put your headphones on.
Make sure you put your headphones on. That happened with Andy Plasky last week. Yeah, it's effing freezing. You know what? We said the same thing. I can't believe it. I said the weatherman actually, there was an FF for friggin' freezing today. Well, I mean, it was
terribly cold for Los Angeles area over here. It was
Like what?
It was like 60 degrees up here. And that was just so cold. My mom wore 2 sweaters, I'm pretty sure of it.
Oh, my God. That's hysterical.
But it has been... There's the thing with being up in the mountains, though.
Look at Rena, 7 degrees in Woburn. So up in the mountains, you're colder, though, right?
A little colder. So it was definitely hotter down in the desert. But at night, it sinks down to, like, the mid-20s. So I've got a big wide range of weather up here.
Yeah. So, I know. It's pretty crazy.
Some snow on the ground, too.
Well, you know, it is January, and it's been very unseasonably warm until now. So I don't complain about cold weather because I think we need it, and I think it's important. Plus, Judy got me a really nice parka last year for Christmas, and it's super warm, so I love that. But I got to tell you, you know, one of the things I do want to say, maybe it's not so much in the suburbs, but in the city, you know, there's a lot of homeless people, and they're this time of year, oh my God in heaven, I can't even imagine how they survive. So one of the things that I do, I have this one lady that I always see, and she's actually the sweetest thing. and we talk a lot. And she never asked for anything, but what I do is I gave her a blanket a couple of days ago because I looked through and I'm like, I have literally like 7 blankets. And I thought, which one really am I not using?
Right.
You know, I gave her that. I gave her a couple of some sweat clothes. Some had tags on them.
It was really cold there last night. Wasn't it like -1?
I can't even imagine, you know, like what that life must be like. So, you know, one of the things that you can do, like there's a company, Bombas, they're a sock company that for every sock you buy, they donate a pair of socks. But I remember a couple of years ago in New York, there were people literally going around with, Eric East Garcia has joined us. Frenchie, are you in Boston? Because it's cold there. I think he was with his girl, Ale. So, yeah, Rena, what I was saying is that I just think it's like so crazy that people have to, I mean, whatever, everybody's circumstances are different, but it breaks my heart. So I always, you know, today I just saw her, she's by the bridge, and I always feel bad. She's like, you could tell she has like a condition where she's kind of crooked. And it makes me so sad. So today I pulled her aside and I gave her some more stuff and I gave her $20. I couldn't deal. And I said, do me a favor, please go inside. And she was so cute. She was like, okay. I said, please just go in the train station or something. I couldn't, because I was freezing. I had a scarf. I had a big coat. I'm like, how on earth? But
it's so cold. So cold in New York when it gets down to that temperature.
And you know, Leo, you used to live here. You see people all the time. And everybody's situation is different.
Yep.
As I say,
they always try to put people into the shelters on those nights when they know it's going to be cold, and they open up they open them up and.
Yeah, you know, I had a friend many years ago. I mean, I met him. When I met him, he was homeless, and I had a soft spot for him, and then I didn't see him for years and years and years and years. And I was doing Tony and Tina's wedding. He used to have this distinctive laugh, and I was doing Tony and Tina's wedding, and I heard this laugh. I was like, oh my God, that sounds like that guy Tim. Don't you know that it was him, except he had cleaned up his act?
Oh, wow. Good.
But this is what happens. He literally was drinking a lot or whatever he was doing. He jumped in front of a car to end his life and didn't die, but he was in the hospital for 8 months. And when he woke up, he hadn't had a drink in 8 months, and he said, I'm going to keep doing this. And he really got his life together. So I never forgot that. I was like, wow. But this is a guy that I used to see in New York in the cold all the time. And he was really cute, and he was very funny, and he had this distinctive laugh. It's like, his name was Timmy. It was crazy. He's moved to Florida, but so everybody's got a story, you know.
Kenny Holcomb used to tell a story of one of his friends.
Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin. That's right.
And Kenny was very kind to him as well. He used to collect. You know who else? You know, our friend Bill Goffey. Our friend Bill Goffey, many times I've gone to Costco with him, and he buys like 10 pairs of sneakers and donates them. You know, he doesn't talk about it much, but he does. You know,
he's a cute little funny old lady, that's why.
Really is.
Old man.
You know what I told him that he needs to do now? Because notice his pictures as of late. I mean, he always took great pictures, but lately he's really stepped it.
He's got some good moments, some beautiful moments.
He needs to do a show. I don't know if there's anybody out there that is looking to have a photography show in your place. Like, I know a lot of restaurants like to hang pictures and things like that. We got to get Bill Goffey's, especially close to the Staten Island Ferry, because he takes a lot of pictures of the Staten Island Ferry and all that stuff. Gene Simpson done. I love Bill Goffey. Bill Goffey's pretty lovable. He's a pain in the ass, but he's pretty lovable.
I like to call him Weezer.
You call him what?
Weezer from the Still Magnolias.
Oh my God! And you guys are really, really buddies.
I'm his Clary. I'm the one that likes to just poke at him, and knock him off the bench.
Oh my God! These two together.
So much fun. Actually, he called me the other day, and I have to call him back, or he's going to haunt me down.
I know. He's out and about. He's doing his thing, but we all check on each other. All our friends check. I heard. Oh my God! He goes. I heard that. I'm calling my lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh my God! He's appeared. Bill, I was talking about your beautiful pictures and how I want you to put a show together of photography. Now, Bill Goffey took my headshots. He's really good.
He did. Yeah.
And
he did.
He takes a lot of incredible pictures. So,
as a matter of fact, I think it's, if just for a second, I'm going to disappoint us all.
He goes, you owe me a... Oh, there it is.
It's in the background real fast. Watch.
Yep. Bill Goffey took my headshots. They're really good. I need to get some new ones, though, because it was a few years ago. I mean, I still look a little bit like that, but I need some updated ones. Anyway, okay, so tonight, here's what we're doing. We are doing a special. John Pandish is joining. See, it doesn't always come up here. John Pandish, Tim Devlin. Hi, Tim Devlin. How are you, my love? Michael Barberi. So many great. Bell Parker's watching. Okay.
Goffey's got a website. If you guys are looking for pictures, Goffey's got a website.
Yes. What is
BecomingBill.com.
BecomingBill.com. And also his Instagram is BecomingBill.com. You see so many beautiful pictures. So I'm putting it out there. I'm looking for a place that Bill Goffey can hang his beautiful photography and have a little bit of a show. I know he's going to kill me, but I feel like if we don't put it out there, we got to put it out there.
He's the easiest person to work with.
He's a pain. No, he's
gonna slap me
in the ass.
He's gonna slap me.
But he's very talented. Okay,
he's a great piano player.
He is a great piano player. My living
musician.
Well, you see, Gene Simpson. I'm telling you, Bill. If you just put these things online, I got to talk to Bill. We got to work this up. Okay, so tonight's show. This is what we're doing. We're doing a tribute show. They always say these things come in threes, and they sure did. So we lost Betty White. Right on the heels of that, we lost Sidney Poitier. And then, sadly, this week, we lost Bob Saget. Now, I say we don't, because we, as an audience, people that were graced with their laughs, their tremendous talent, their dignity, their body of work, whether you know people or not, the point is you've been affected by them. Your life has been affected by them. So I was thinking, I text Leo yesterday because usually I tell him who's on the show. And I said, I don't have guests. I want to do this show. And he's like, sure, whatever you want. And, Leo is so on the ball. But what they had in common was not that they all had done a lot of work and they were famous. What they had in common was that struck a chord with me was that they had all been... they had contributed to the wellness of the world. So Betty White was an animal activist, and she did so much work for animal rights. Sidney Poitier did so much work for civil rights. I mean, he was like such a groundbreaker and so much behind the scenes. It was incredible. And when I think of him, Leo and I are going to talk about all three of them. And then Bob Saget, a lot of people, I had the great fortune of meeting him many, many, many times. I waited on him at a place I used to work. He was funny, but he wasn't what I thought he was going to be. I thought he would be like the dad on Full House, but he was funny. And I will say this, and thank you, Bob. He was one of the best tippers I ever waited on. He was a mega tipper. He had no problem leaving you a huge tip. And I was always impressed by that. He was sweet. He remembered your name. He was funny. He was flirty, but in the best way. And he always left a great tip. So thank you, Bob Saget. Leo, something is behind your eyes. I know you too well. What are you thinking?
I was thinking of when you were talking about, we're both TV junkies. So I've watched, one of my favorite programs, to quote an old person, is CBS Sunday Morning. And they had the Leslie Stahl interview from a couple of years ago with Sidney Poitier.
Wow.
And groundbreaking. There was the scene in, oh my God, is it The Still of the Night? I think it's Still
of the Night, A Patch of Blue, The Heat of the Night.
The Heat of the Night. Okay, so right. The Heat of the Night with Rod, and that scene where the guy slaps him, and he slaps him right back. He made them, before he signed for that part, he made them put in the contract that he was able to sign them, to slap that man back, and that they would not be cut out of any movie anywhere around the world ever. That was his stipulation to do that film. One of the stipulations, I'm sure, but a major stipulation. And when they played the scene back, and takes you back to that moment when he slaps him, and in this country, back then somebody would have bowed down and done it, but no. Sidney Poitier made them put that slap in and keep it around the world to stand up to, because he said that he would not be able to live with himself.
Wow. Maybe should we do this in order? You're really like the guy behind the curtain. Do it in order. We'll do Betty, Sidney, and then Bob, because I do want to. Let's do that for now. But what I do want to say, everybody, I'm opening this up again. Leo and I are. Oh, Michael Dion is watching. We are opening it up again this week. Last week we did a really cool thing where if people wanted to Zoom in, or you can call in. You can call me on my phone as well and just contribute with something that you feel, or you can type it in. I want people to be involved. Last week we did it. It was really great. I love when people contribute, and our listeners and friends are so amazing. So let's start by talking about, like I said, they were all amazing because they all were great at what they did, but they also contributed. Like the name of the show tonight is Leaving a Legacy. They contributed to the wellness of the world. Like there's plenty of famous people, and some of them I are wrongly famous. Like for me, the Kardashians, I never need to see their name or face or anything again. I feel like reality TV, really, I feel like it ruined America. That, all of it, The Apprentice, the Housewives, I think Andy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
What Andy Cohen has done to women, in my opinion, and I don't care if you hear this, Andy Cohen is the Michael Vick of reality TV. How he
did that, but it's the Schadenfreude of the human race.
Right.
That kind of put money behind it and said, "Oh, we love that." They do it, and they all go to brunch and talk about it. I hate that. I hate it.
I hate that too, Leo. We're not like that.
I could go wait at tables and see the same damn thing, and for free.
I know. Jill Dilly is watching from Philly, and so I just wanted to say that I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but I feel like there are lots of different types of fame. And the reason that these three people, we put them together is because, of course, they passed away, but they all did so much for the wellness of the world to make it a better place, whether it was through their philanthropy, helping with activism, things like that. So I want to really to use Richard Skipper, he does a lot of that, celebrating, but it's true. I want to say thank you. It's like a tribute, and I have a lot of gratitude for that.
They were all great examples of what artists actually do in society. Betty, in her many ways, what she started with radio, and she went to TV, and then she was game shows, but she was part of our society. And I think in the documentary that I watched, she had told or mentioned to her assistant that, when you're in film, you go to the film, you go to see them there. But she was fortunate enough to come into our homes. And so we all feel like we own a little piece of her. And, just like when Lucille Ball died and I cried like a big old
I
scream
know.
that I am. But when Betty, I felt the same way. And I mean, I think for a generation, I know that TV has gotten its reviews and bad, and we don't like to watch it. But when we were growing up, it was up and coming.
Right.
It was brand new, and these shows and these stories that we were sharing, and we're not everybody could do it. So we had to watch it, and we shared together. And Betty White was, from the beginning, from radio transferring over into that. And she was in our homes, and
Judy, my Judy, as she gets on things and then she's on it. Like, so now since Betty White died, she started playing like Golden Girls on a loop. Like every time she's got the whole thing on. It's like so. But what's funny? I was watching it again. I mean, I love the show so much. the Golden Girls is just an amazing show. And Lynn Portis is watching.
Hi, Lily.
Stuart.
Genius.
McGo is watching. Hi, Stuart. Good to see you, honey. I saw Stuart a few weeks ago at Brandy's with his cute guy, Chris. I loved when you guys came in there. But anyway, so what we're talking, if you just popped on, we're talking about Betty White, Sidney Poitier, and Bob Sackett. And the reason we put them together is because they all did amazing things for the world. They weren't just celebrities. So going back to Golden Girls, I was watching it again, and like Judy brought up a great point. She goes, "Do you realize that this was 40 years ago?" I was like, "What?" When it started in the 80s.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. Think of how ahead of their time they were. Did you know that all four of them were gay rights activists?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't cool to be gay rights anything 40 years ago. Even 30 years ago, you were pushing it. But to think that these older women were like they all worked behind the scenes to help with those rights, to pass those rights. They all contributed. Did you know that this blows my mind? B. Arthur, and it still exists. I have to find out exactly where it is. Started a home. There's 180 units. Did you know about this? I didn't know this.
Yep. Shortly before she
elaborate
died.
on it. Go ahead.
Surely, I don't know much about it. I know it's for homeless gay youth, gay youth, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, for them. And it was before she died, shortly before she died, I believe, that she did that. And we followed her in the theater. I mean, she was
amazing.
B and Rue were big time in the theater, and so they had very gay followings, large gay followings, and so. And
Rue McClanahan. Go ahead.
She was in Torch Song Trilogy, written by Harvey Fierstein, who was one of my idols. Who is, Joe Gullo is going to be the next Harvey Fierstein, by the way. I can tell you that. And she was, she was the mother. She played his mother. And
oh my God, that's amazing.
That would be some good scene work for me and you, Maria. We should do that scene.
That would be good. And our friend Michael LaRue actually, I think he was a producer or director that worked with her, and he ended up taking care of her at the end of her life, and was amazing. They got very close, and when she passed away, she left him all her memorabilia. And
she had Alzheimer's, right?
I don't want to speak out of. I don't know all of it, but it was something close to that. But
dementia or something like that.
And so he and her son opened up Rue LaRue, because his last name is LaRue. So Rue LaRue, which was an adorable little cafe up in Washington Heights. It closed a few years ago because I think he's going to try to open it Midtown.
Yeah.
But just beautiful, and it had all her memorabilia. So they used to show it on a loop.
Betty had worked with Rue and B in different show capacities back in the 70s under Norman Lear and Betty White. Betty White and Rue McClanahan were also in Mama's Family with Carol Burnett.
My God.
Betty White was in Mary Tyler Moore.
Yes, as Georgianne. Georgette.
And
no. Oh my God, I can't.
Sue. She was Sue.
Right.
And she was Man Hungry. And that was she. Oh, yeah.
Do you know that they wanted to originally give her the role of Blanche because of that? And she said, it's too close to what I already did. Can I try a different role? And so they switched it because it was supposed to be Rue was supposed to be the dippy one.
And if you saw Rue in Maude with B, Rue was the dippy one.
Right.
Back then. So they really they switched.
Well, they were just kind of giving them the same roles. But they were both like, how about if we switch?
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a genius decision.
And what fun to just go to work with your friends who you worked with in the industry for so many years and play.
Yeah, but let me tell you, I feel that way because I get to work in Piano Bar, and I do work with my friends, and they're big goofballs. I mean, Susie Campanaro, right?
When's that show going to come out?
Oh, my God. We were talking yesterday. We were like, we should write a new show, but so much, just silly comedy stuff that we used to do. Although now, a lot of our show might not be appropriate. because we did it for years. But like some of the characters we did back then, it was fine, But whatever. So we were talking about it.
Changed.
But what I wanted to talk about with Betty, and please, Leo, why don't you pull up? She was a huge animal rights activist. And what they're saying is, if you want to do something nice for Betty White, rather than to go to her funeral, which is closed, donate to the Humane Society under her name, or just in general, just say, Leo Rodriguez, I'm donating, but I'm doing it on behalf of Betty White. Or also, which you said was part of the umbrella of this, was Seeing Eye Dogs for the Blind. Okay, keeping Betty in our hearts. Join in honoring Betty White's memory to make the world a better, kinder place for all animals. How beautiful.
And, I'm sure that she, the American Humane Society is hers, but I'm sure that Betty is looking down, and if you give to even the ones that have the puppies that are, I think it's a Humane Society anyway, that are on TV. Oh, I hate those commercials. They make me cry all the time. But I'm sure Betty would appreciate anything.
Absolutely. And,
Or take them in.
Or take them in or feed them. David Foley Jr. is watching.
Actually, keep them. Just if you take them in, keep them.
I know, but you know what? There's also another alternative, fostering. Like I know Emily McNamara and her husband David have fostered dogs until they're ready to go. Gene, look at Gene Simpson Dunn. Oh my God. Gene, can you type in, as a matter of fact, I wish we could get Gene to, okay, here's what we wanted to say. Just like we did last week with Lynn Portis, and we had Bobby Kent. But people, tonight we want to open it up again. If you would like to zoom in or type in or call me to contribute, to talk about some of the things we're talking about, you are welcome to. I really, our guests, our listeners are so amazing. Jean does so much work for an animal shelter out by her. She fosters so many little kittens. You see it on her feed.
Oh, yes.
One of our friends, Susan Kilty, also in Massachusetts, she is always fostering little kittens and getting them ready. So you don't have to just adopt an animal. You can also foster. You know what else you can do? You can help your friends that have animals. Like, I know my upstairs neighbor, she's in Italy now, but when she's here, she always will check on my dog when I'm at work. She'll be like, you want me to check on Rizzo? And I always think, really? That would be amazing. Like, being kind to animals is not, it's just like it resonates. And I listen to a lot of James Van Prague and a lot of these mediums. One of the things that I heard that's so beautiful, and then we'll move on because we could talk about Betty White for an hour, but one of the things that I heard, which is amazing because I really am into this like spiritual connection of afterlife, that when a person passes away, and I think this is so beautiful, and many mediums have said this, that especially if you're tentative about passing, like if you weren't ready to go, the first thing that comes to you to greet you is your animals. Is that incredible? Like, you want to cry, right? Isn't that beautiful? Like, so that it's almost
I believe it.
I know, almost like a waiting room. So all the little pets that you've ever had come to you a little at a time.
I can name them all.
You see?
Yeah, well, there's one thing that I do. I think I mentioned this to you when I do a show or before I do a show, especially like Cheetah Moreno or Joe's and the ones that I've done that are very spiritual. I call my spirit guides, and my spirit guides happen to be all those animals plus a couple of others. But it's all my animals I need all around me the whole time. And
absolutely. So that's one of the things I've heard from several mediums, that your animals come to you first when you pass away, and they greet you because they understand that you might have been a trauma or you're not ready, and then you follow them. How beautiful is that?
That'd be awesome. Oh my!
If that's not heaven, I don't know what is.
I think that would be great if I could have a dog pile of all my little puppies and.
Oh my God! So Eudenia Mesa, she's our friend. Well, she's my girlfriend. I could really smack people when I see them being mean to their dogs in the street. I know, it's the worst. Like you snap. Bobby Kent says, "Remember my dog Elmo." Bobby, you're so sweet. And then, you posted a picture recently, Bob, of when you were little and there was a dog. We all have that. We all love and miss our dogs. If anybody, Karen Orris, Ron Witz is also watching. If anybody would like to, as we're doing our show tonight, we're doing a tribute to Betty White, Sidney Poitier, which we'll get onto Sidney's life next, and then Bob Saget. And they all were people that contributed to the wellness of the world. So, but if you would like to, hey, Freddie, what's up? Freddie's watching. If you would like to pop in tonight, let us know. Leo and I can send you the StreamYard link, and you can pop in and add to our conversation, or you can call me on my phone, and I'll put you up to the mic.
Yep.
Okay, so we could talk about Betty White for hours on end, but that's...
And animals forever. Oh.
So if you loved Betty White and you want to tell her how much you loved her, contribute to any, and Jean, please pop on because Jean helps out her local. You can do it locally, or you can do it in a bigger way. Type in where yours is. As a matter of fact, in Italy, there was a horse tied to a carriage, and it looked so sad it made me cry. I wanted to break it free. I love animals. I know that's the problem. Sometimes you want to help. It's really sad.
Well, it's really funny because humans continually think that we're, it's a human being. We are an animal, just like all of the rest of them. So if you allow yourself, you do have those. You have those connections with your dog, with your cats, my ladies that are here.
Oh my God!
You do with birds. If you give it a chance to communicate. I mean, how about those animals that come up for help when they need help, and people they're just like, help me, and
how about those animals that save people constantly? They've saved babies. They have jumped. They have jumped and blocked people from hurting other people, and they don't even know. The animals are amazing. Actually, animals are the best people.
Unconditional love, even more so than that's really
absolutely. So you want to do something nice for Betty White, and to tell her that you appreciated everything she did. Donate to any kind of animal organization of your choice,
and take care of yours.
And take care of yours. Oh boy, well, Judy's dogs are loved beyond belief, and everybody I see here is their pets are loved beyond belief. Leo, you're a great cat daddy.
I love my kitties. I tell them all the time.
Oh, remember that time when we moved your boxes in my car? We fit every single thing in. It was jammed to the like we couldn't. I was driving like this, and yet your kittens were with you in a little. One of them was just walking around, and the other one was in your lap.
Yeah. One's rambunctious, and the other one's... Mama Kitty's like, look, you took me in from the streets. I'm cool. You feed me. You clothe me. I'm cool. Let's go, whatever. Patches is like, oh, my God, this is a world. There's a world out there.
I know. They're so pretty. Those are pretty cats, too.
Those are my little babies.
Okay, so now we're going to move on because this is what happens. We just run out of time.
Oh, yeah.
So now, Sidney Poitier. Betty was 99. Sidney Poitier was 94. Leo, as I said, you're much younger than me, but I know that you're a TV person and a movie person. When I was a kid in the 60s, the first time that I ever saw Sidney Poitier was in Lilies of the Valley. Now, I remember I went to Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
So, I watched it with my mom. So, when I saw that beautiful man, because he was beautiful, and with those nuns and that whole, I was completely mesmerized. Now you have to remember in the 60s, like I grew up in the north end of Boston, it was all Italians. I didn't have any African American friends. I had, maybe I saw people on the street or on the subway, but I didn't know anybody personally. When we moved to a neighborhood that was mostly Irish, and again, I didn't have any friends that. It wasn't until, just because they didn't live there, it wasn't until I started doing theater at 10 at Tufts College. I was in a theater program that I met people from all over. So they were Jewish kids, African American kids, Hispanic kids, Muslim kids. It was incredible, and my life and my world burst open, and it was theater. It was theater. And you've taught kids for many years.
Yeah.
It's the bridge. But I remember watching Sidney Poitier and thinking, oh, I couldn't, it's funny. Like when he died, I thought to myself, like I didn't think of him as an actor. I thought, wait, he was a king, right? Like the first thing that came to mind was that he was royalty. And he wasn't, I mean, he was Hollywood royalty, but it's just that it was the way he carried himself with such dignity.
Mm-hmm.
So, Leo, let's talk about some of his films. You just talked about The Heat of the Night, right?
Right, and The Heat of the Night is what I talked about earlier. That was profound. One of the other things I learned watching that documentary, as you say, you thought he was a king.
Oh, Karen just wait. Karen just corrected me. Thank you, Karen. Field, not Valley, not Lilies of the Valley, Lilies of the Field. Thank you, Karen. Oh my goodness, George Hernandez is watching. So go ahead, Leo. He was born prematurely. Oh, really?
And his mother took him. They thought he was going to die. They didn't think that he was going to live. And the mother went to a psychic or, whatever, on their island.
He was from the Bahamas, right?
Well, yeah. And she said, well, don't worry about him. Don't worry about him. He is going to grow, and he is going to walk with kings.
Oh, isn't that... I just got
that's when you told me right now. And I forget the interview he was doing, but he was telling that story.
Oh my God! Because it's true. When I think of him, I completely think like he's a king.
Yeah.
I mean, his movies were like because I was born in the '60s, so. Those movies, they were on television or we went to them. My mother was a huge fan of his. Huge fan of his. She just thought he was just the most amazing thing. And, okay, so thank you. Lilies of the Field, thank you. And then there was, they said he was nominated for the Defiant Ones, Porgy and Bess, A Raisin in the Sun. Do you remember that?
Oh my God, that's such a great movie.
How about this one? To Sir with Love. Judy, we have to watch To Sir with Love. You're going to go crazy. Oh, we should just watch all Sidney Poitier this week. I mean,
it's also but to also be able to work in the Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Spencer and Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, and and again another film that was groundbreaking for acceptance.
Yep, and Bobby can't just. You're right, Bobby. He was Porgy and Bess. Oh my God, my mom took me to that one and every one of his movies until I was old enough to go by myself. To Sir with Love was the first one that I went to with my friends. We watched it the other night with my kids. Meryl fell in love with him. Bobby has an adopted daughter that is from, I believe, Ethiopia, Bobby, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and Bobby, by the way, your mom must have been the coolest because she just, every time you talk about your mom, she was just really cool and bringing you to so many things. No wonder you're in theater and you're a musician. Yes, Karen, Patch of Blue. Leo, did you ever see A Patch of Blue?
I don't think I've seen that one, no.
Oh my God, there's a woman in it that's blind and he helps her. I think that was actually, Karen, thank you. I think that was my mother's favorite of all of them. See, so Bobby's mom loved him and so did my mom loved him because he was he was very strong and stern, but he was so kind. And that's what I loved about his acting, that you saw a surface of like an intimidating, strong man, but underneath was this kindness and Shelley Winter. Oh, yes, Karen. Oh, my God. Yes, Shelley Winters played the woman.
Oh, wow.
Leo, you're going to love it.
I have to.
Blue.
But he was also a director.
Yes.
He also directed Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor in Stir Crazy.
Really? I didn't know that.
I was just looking. Yeah, so I saw that. There's some of the films. So Buck and the Panderer, A Warm December, Uptown Saturday Night.
Wow.
Let's Do It Again, A Piece of the Action, Stir Crazy, Hanky Panky. And so this is one of my favorites. It's called Fast Forward, and I think his son is in it.
Really?
And yeah, it's a very small film. All these dancers from a small midtown go to New York to make, and they end up, they're classically trained, and they go to New York. And when they're in New York, they learn all about like what was pop and breaking and the cardboard boxes and all that that genre.
Oh my God! And he directed that. I knew he was a director, but I didn't realize some of the films that he directed. Bobby Kent said Shelley Winters won the Academy Award. She was really scary. Bobby, I'm going to go back and watch that because that stayed with me, that patch of blue. I didn't remember it was her. Oh, my God. Sam RK is watching. Hi, Sam. Yes, and thank you, Karen and Bobby, for helping us out with all that great information. So, I just I didn't read it. I actually listened to it on audio because it's easier for me sometimes to listen to books because I drive quite a bit. Sometimes if I read, especially because I work so many hours, and I fall asleep. Like I'll just read 3 pages and I'm out. So I often will opt to listen to a book instead. I just listened to, not just, maybe a few months ago, Cicely Tyson's autobiography. It was called Just As I Am. Now, I was expecting it to be powerful, of course. Cicely Tyson. I actually met her.
Oh, wow.
My friend Michael, who's a designer, and his husband, Mark Anthony, came to the duplex. They were great customers of ours, and they used to come to mess hall, and they're just amazing guys. They brought, one night I was just singing on the mic, and they used to come in and get that front table, and they were so cute after something. And they brought a friend. And they sat at the front table. And when I got up to take care of them, I was like, oh my God, that's Cicely Tyson.
Cicely Tyson, your friend? You're going to bring it?
They brought a friend. They were like, oh, and then they said,
Her Highness, most royal.
Our friend Cicely, this is our friend Maria, and she was very, very regal. She's no joke.
I bet.
She's no joke. But I just couldn't believe it. But anyway, she talked about Sidney Poitier quite a bit in her book. Yeah, Karen, oh my God, is right. Quite a bit in her book, and how dignified he was, and how he had really started, because she got I think she won a few Academy Awards for Best Actress, and she was groundbreaking, her performances. But he really was the first one that started all that. She was in awe of him, and she followed him. They became great friends, but I believe he wasn't married to Diane Carroll, but he was with her for many years, if I'm not mistaken. He has 6 children, and as you said, I guess one of them's an actor, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It was the dancer in that.
But so what was his? I mean, we know what his body of work was, of course, and his contributions as an African American. Now, look. I've often, when I was a kid, I remember, because my parents were immigrants, they didn't speak English very well. People made fun of their accents. I remember being really hurt by what people said about my parents. When I got older, I had a lifestyle that I remember thinking, don't talk about it because people will make fun of you. But one of the things that I thought about with him, or any African American person, that I could omit information about myself. I could also make sure you didn't meet my parents if you were a mean person that would make fun of their accents. But you cannot hide the color of your skin.
Mm-mm.
And this man, during a time of racial upheaval, was so dignified. He was part of the civil rights movement in such a big way. And Cicely Tyson talks about it in her book. Her book is amazing. It's long because her life was long.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. And so, Leo, I'm sorry, I've been talking so much because I'm so excited about what we're talking about. But what was it for you when you would see him up there? Did you get that? Because you're a person of color. Did you have a different reaction? Did you think, wow, that's really cool? What did you think?
Well, I was born after those movies came out, so I would be watching them in reruns, or however I would watch them. How did we watch reruns in the 70s? Movies of the week, I guess, right?
Right.
Oh my goodness. I remember thinking of him as Regal. His intonation, how he spoke. It was partly his Bahama accent and being pronounced, and I'm sure going against whatever he didn't want to be cast as, but I think that one of the first memories I will always have, because I went to Catholic school, is Amen. From Little Leagues of
Amen. Amen.
And finding out that he didn't even sing. He didn't sing that. The guy that wrote that song and put it together is the one that sang it, and they dubbed it over.
Yes. And by the way, Andy Praske has joined us. We love Andy Praske. Andy Praske popped on last week. And Andy's going to be on our show, by the way, January 25th. I cannot wait. It's in 2 weeks from tonight. Andy, we talked about Betty White. We're talking about Sidney Poitier. And we're going to talk a little bit about Bob Saget as well, and how they contributed, not just as actors and artists, but how they contributed to the wellness of the world in their charities, in their civil rights. Like Sidney Poitier, I mean, he marched. He was part of so many. Little known movie, but says Bobby Kent, called Pressure Point with Bobby Darin. Poitier played a prison psychiatrist, and Darin played a white supremacist. Whoa!
Oh.
I just got chills. Bobby, I don't know about this. 1962, incredibly intense. I hope we can find it. I challenge you this week, my friends, to and Judy and I watch a lot of stuff. I tend to watch it more when I'm with her than if I'm just home alone. I don't watch that stuff because I fall asleep. But if I'm at her house, we just like are hanging and relaxing. Mm-hmm. But I challenge you out there to try to watch at least one or two Sidney Poitier movies. Make a list of all the movies and check them off, because you're going to be blown away.
Do you think Judy has a list already?
What, honey?
Do you think Judy has a list already?
Judy, as we were talking, she's already doing all her research, because she's like a student of life. All her research, and we're going to watch all Sidney. Oh, there she is. Oh, my God. Judy. Hi, honey. Oh, are you muted? Are you muted?
Are you?
Is she there?
I was.
There you go.
Okay. So,
hi, Boo Boo.
Hi.
Welcome to our show. I'm so glad you popped in. So, honey, what did you want to talk about? Did you want to talk about what we're talking about with Sidney Poitier?
No, I just wanted to hang out with you guys.
Oh.
You already spoke about Betty White. That's where I should have come in. Because.
Well, that's okay. We can go back a little bit.
What an amazing woman. I've always liked her. I've always loved her. But I went on a Golden Girls binge, which I'm still currently on, actually, because I don't think I've ever watched the show from beginning to finish.
Isn't it interesting to do that, to watch a show like that from beginning to see the character development and how they relate?
But I remember that it wasn't really, so it was in 84. I think it came out in 84, so I was like 7. So I was very young, but I remember catching, like just glimpse of it on TV or something. I always remember she stood out for me, even when I was
really
little. Yeah, when I was little, like I would watch, and so did
B. Arthur. She was my favorite. B was my favorite.
For some reason, those two, like they they stood out for me. But Betty White especially, I just found her, like kind of like a little bit, maybe like slapstick humor, a little bit.
Yeah, she was
right, like she
timing.
Yeah, and then when I got older and I knew who she was and what she was about, such a great lady, such a great.
And her animal rights, which you're huge
like silently rights. Great too, which are my favorite kind of people. Like that, they're just silently great. They don't need to brag about anything. They're just humility. They kind of do their own thing and live this like very beautiful, loving life. That's who she was.
Yes.
You know that she met her husband on the game shows, right?
Yes.
Alan Lunt, and there was what's his name? Oh my goodness, the interviewer who just passed as well from CNN.
Larry King.
Larry King asked her, because you never got married again. You never. She says, once you've had the best, why don't try the rest?
Right.
She was happy. That was it for her. Was that love? That simple beautifulness of her.
Yeah. Well, listen, Judy. Now you got to take my challenge. We got to watch Sidney Poitier movies because I
feel like I'm not going to enjoy them. Although I do love him.
Why? Because you're going to be angry.
I enjoy old movies like that. They're not my thing. Like
watch Fast Forward. Watch Fast Forward because it's a dance movie and there's
We're going to watch Patrick Blue. You know what's going to make you very angry because some of these movies are where they were made in the 60s and the people, the characters, but they were groundbreaking because they dealt head on with civil rights and the white supremacy, which I cannot believe it's still going on. But
what do you mean it doesn't exist?
Lynn Porter's they moved too slow for Judy. She said the black and whites. Maybe
this is coming to dinner. This is coming to dinners in color.
Oh, okay. But no, seriously, Judy, we got to do it. You're going to be blown away. Now we are going to So I challenge our viewers. Most have been contributing and saying they've already seen it, but go back and watch some. Even in the heat of the night. Oh my God! But you know what? To Sir with Love. You'll love that, Judy. That's about he's a teacher. It's amazing, and that song is so beautiful. Somebody should do it in piano bar.
You guys, I have to tell you. Do you know what I think about every time someone passes? God forbid. But do you know what I think about? Or do you know who I think about?
Who? Barbara Streisand.
Oh my God!
And the day that Barbara passes,
I think about it all of the time. I'm like,
what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
No, I have no idea. I have no idea, but I hope I don't have to. I don't ever want it to happen.
But you know what? On a side note of that, Marilyn Bergman just passed away.
I know.
And she wrote, remember Maria, and when I talked about how songwriters can be prophets sometimes? And Marilyn Bergman wrote The Way We Were. And if you guys, the lyrics for that, if people really, so it's the laughter we'll remember whenever we remember the way we were, just like how she puts it.
How about what are you doing the rest of your life? Those lyrics, she also wrote those lyrics. She and her husband.
Yeah, they wrote a lot of her songs.
50.
Oh my God, I think about it all the time. And she knew all these. I follow her on Instagram, and every time somebody dies, she posts a picture of her with them and says something. And I'm like, oh Jesus, that day is going to be.
Oh my God, I know. I think
very traumatizing.
Bubble wrap Judy's room, so she's going to have a fit. Judy, Lynn said, I'm like you, Judy, the same thing with the movies, the black and whites. They're too slow for her.
Yeah.
So, but Bobby Kenton, I got to tell you, it's one of my favorite movies. To Sir with Love, just watch the video for the song with Lulu, then watch the movie. Yes, if you watch the video, To Sir with Love, the song is beautiful, but
it really is.
It's going to make you want to watch the movie. Absolutely. Okay. I don't want to. Oh my God, we have to go quickly.
You switched it up, Leo?
I'm hungry. Yeah, you like that?
I'm hungry too. Well, we have to do our show, but I want to talk about Bob Sackett too. Quickly, what did I make tonight? I made shrimp with Mediterranean spices from Georgia. Not Georgia, the state, but Georgia in the Middle Eastern spices. Beautiful. And then over brown quinoa rice with mushrooms, scallions, peas, and red onions. Delicious. I can't wait to eat that. For our salad, it's kale, red cabbage, carrots, Kirby cucumbers, which I love.
What are Kirby cucumbers? Are they the smaller ones?
Yes, they're like the pickle ones, the ones they use for pickles. And I'm going to put a Mission Fig. My sister bought me these amazing oil and vinegars from New England Olive Oil Company, which I love, which is right around the corner from where she works. So Mission Fig, balsamic vinegar, and a Sicilian lemon olive oil. So
I feel like I always laugh when Maria does these.
She always makes fun of me.
The food part of the show, because I feel like her dishes are always. They have like literally so many ingredients that I'm always like, she's like, I got a traditional kale that was
she always makes me. Well,
in Arizona.
I don't like to lie. I like to tell people Everything.
That's good, though.
He always makes fun of me. And brownie bites from Trader Joe's, sea salt brownie bites.
Ooh, yeah.
Rena, we forgot to do it. Rena's right. We forgot to do the food section of our show. Ready?
Go ahead.
Keep eating. Judy is like, oh my God, she's rolling her eyes. But she always makes fun of me, the food section of our show.
That's okay. That's how you're supposed to describe it when you go, like, to the table. Anyway.
That's right. You know what, Leo, you're right, because you managed the restaurant. I was a waitress and managed and all that. You have to do, that's the specials. Tonight our special is.
Yeah.
And that is why I don't work in restaurants.
Right.
I might
you like to go to them, though.
Like,
but you worked in a few. You worked in a few. But
I
you
was
said you were the worst
restaurant employee.
Okay.
Yeah, but as a guest, though, if I didn't describe it before I left the table, you'd be like, excuse me? What am I eating?
Right.
And what's this? And what's that? So I
gotta tell you, I love when the waiter describes all the. I'm like, you know what? I'll have that. I like that.
My training.
I like it too.
Your description should be like 30 to 45 seconds. It should make them drooling by the time you leave the table. Get out so they can eat.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Bob Sackett.
Oh, Bob. You know what? We forgot to mention that.
Please.
Mr. Potier had 3 different charities and foundations that he was a part of. The Fulfillment Fund, and I have, which is for graduates and in the underprivileged communities, AIDS Project Los Angeles, and the Barbara Davis Center for children's diabetes specifically, but for diabetes as well, where he was on the board and contributing. There's 3 of them.
Amazing. So then this is why we put them together tonight on the show.
And not to mention all the civil rights that he represented.
Right. But like, that's what I think of. But you're right. Thank you for bringing that up, Leo. He also contributed to so many different charities. And, this is a thing to think about. Like, and most people can't give very much. But, like my favorite charity is Wounded Warrior. And PAL, the Police Athletic League. And when they send me stuff, I can't always give. But once in a while, I'll send $20. I'll send $50, whatever I can. If someone passes away and they were a soldier, I do it in their name. It's very important to donate to charities that you love and be, the Fulfillment Fund. Wow. Empowering youth for over 40 years. And he was part of that. Mm-hmm. Isn't that incredible?
It's that very multicultural.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It works to make college a reality for students growing up in educationally and economically under-resourced communities. Together, we build pathways to college, navigate educational barriers, create support networks, and empower future leaders.
Wow.
And he did. He empowered himself. So
yeah, he really did. So Bob Sackett. Bob Sackett was the dad in Full House. He was... on America's Funniest Videos, of course, we all know. As a matter of fact, I did him in America's Funniest Videos, and I think that I have to find it somewhere. And I think that he was the guy that was making the announcement. But he also did some Broadway stuff. I got to say that I waited on him. He was so charming, so sweet, and an incredible tipper. And made us all feel so appreciated. Whoever was waiting on him, he always tipped really, really well, and made people feel appreciated.
And I don't know how. I believe it was like a good 10 years or so before he got on the Full House. But before that, he was a comedian with a very raunchy set here and there, and he made people laugh. And God bless him for making people laugh. That's
absolutely.
That's so
and the night that he passed away, he sent someone a text or a message and said, "Wow, I just did a 2-hour set. It was as if I was 20 again, and it was amazing. It was what a feeling." That was the last thing he did.
They had a point when they came back for Fuller House on Netflix.
Yeah.
And he was talking, you know how they do on a set at the closing or beginning, someone will do a good speech, and he was speaking, and he was talking about how proud he was of the girls. And as he's talking about, Candace Bure and the 2 other girls, and he starts crying. He's just talking about how they were like his girls, and how he felt about being so proud. What a great guy! I mean, you hear
and he had 3 daughters of his own, and he was married to his second wife for 3 years. She was Rizzo is her last name. I can't remember her first name, but she did a talk show as well. And so what his charity, Leo? You want to pop up his charity?
Well, his sister passed before he did, and let me get it here. It's really hard to be on the show and do all this wonderful work at the same time.
I know, and usually you're in the background, but I wanted you.
Scleroderma Research.
I want you to be my sidekick tonight. Scleroderma Research Foundation, because she had passed away from it. And what I heard, he raised something like $500,000 for it. So, in loving memory of Bob Sackett. Okay, he was only 64. A board members and beloved friend. Okay, so he was board member. If you were a huge fan of Bob's and you want to do something in his memory, that's a great place to donate. Dedicated to finding a cure.
Yep.
If you love Sidney Poitier and you want to do something amazing, what we talked about, and after the program, we can also maybe, just go back and watch it and look at that. We can also post them. If you have Betty White, of course, Any Animal, ASPCA, Humane Society, Seeing Eye Dogs for the Blind, that was another one of her big ones. It's a good, that doesn't mean you have to give every month. It doesn't mean you have to give a lot. It means that you just you stop for a minute and you say, I'm going to make a contribution to something that's going to make a difference in their life and my life.
Your local pound may need you to go walk some dogs.
Right.
For, an hour out of your week. That's,
And you know what? You can do it in a small way, too. Like, I got to say, when COVID hit and everybody was on lockdown, so many people, were above and beyond, helped so many of us that were in that business. They were so kind, and they came through. And also, like Brandy's Piano Bar, all these piano bars were ready to close, and we did fundraisers, and the people kept those places. Like the same thing with Stonewall. Stonewall was on the verge of closing, and people came through. So there's a lot of people out there that were on that list of amazing friends. So thank you to everybody out there that does something to forward the good in the world. It's not just about being famous. So Andy Prasky says scleroderma is a relatively unknown condition, but it has some horrific symptoms. Yeah, thanks, Andy. See, and his sister passed of it, so he wanted to contribute. But anything that you do like that, you're literally sending positive vibes out into the world and doing great things.
And, not to mention, sometimes the world around you, friends, family, sometimes you just can't with them. And you go home and you sit and you watch TV. And that's where Betty White, and that's where Bob Saget, and that's where Sidney Poitier throw you your donation by using their talents and who they were to create what they did for us to laugh. Crying is therapeutic. Right. To remember and to smile a little bit at,
lifting your spirits.
Yeah, that's why it's there.
Challenging your mind. So go and do your homework this week. Go and watch us many Sidney Poitiers, a little at a time, because that's a lot to digest. It's very intense stuff. Golden Girls, Judy's got them on a loop. That has put me in such a good mood this week. Really, I'm just laughing so much. And
have you done the dance contest yet, where she does all the flips?
I haven't. No, I don't think we got to that yet. And Bob Saget.
I'm on season 2 still.
Okay, good. Bob Saget, so many Full House, all that great stuff. His
and The Aristocrats. Watch the movie The Aristocrats for some classic Bob Saget.
Okay, all right, Leo. I want to thank you for being my sidekick.
Leo, I want you to know. Wait, I have a really funny story.
Then we have to go after that.
I wanted to text you, Leo. Pop me in, right? Did you see your cell phone?
No, I didn't see my cell phone. I only saw Facebook.
I text Leo and I said, Leo, pop me in, and I text the wrong Leo.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
And he was like, "What?
It's bad. It's bad.
There's only one
We'll
Leo.
have to explain.
I mean, for on your schedule, if you want to.
Oh my
That's
God.
funny.
I fixed the
Hysterical.
work, Leo. That was not fun. But anyways,
Oh my God. All right.
I fixed it.
We want to thank Jim Bell. We want to thank Armed Radio. We want to thank Leo Rodriguez. Judy Mesa has joined us tonight. All of you, thank you for contributing in the way that you did, because you really made the show what it was. Come back next week. We're here every Tuesday at 9 p.m. We love and appreciate you. So
Bye, everybody.
thank
Bye,
you,
Leo.
guys.
Bye, Lynn.